We're live. Awesome. Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to our second Learning Pieces for Developers live stream. So if you joined us last week, I was hanging out with Ellie. We were learning how Ellie uses pieces in Obsidian. Today, I'm going to be learning some Flutter and Dart from an expert. I've had an expert very kindly agree to come and hang out with me. So Biswa, do you want to introduce yourself?
Thanks, Jim. Hi, hey everyone. So my name is Bishwajeet Parhi, but you can call me Biswa. At this stage where I'm not almost a student and not all completely a bachelor. So I'm going to graduate next week, which I would remove my title of being an undergrad student. And I'm currently working as a software engineer at home base. I've been working with app development, Flutter basically, for the past 2 years, and I've been pivoted to React Native for a while now. But I do have my share as an experience with Flutter for the while, and I have a soft spot with React. Mostly I deal with app development, but I could work with all the front-end stacks, so that's not an issue with me. And I love to geek out uh, and actively contribute to open source, primarily to Flutter repository, and I'm an AppWrite hero. That's pretty
So
much.
I have to dig into this AppWrite hero thing. So yeah, man, I love the AppWrite crew. I love what they're trying to do. But I guess the benefit of the folks watching, what is an AppWrite hero? What is AppWrite, and why are you such a hero?
That's a good question. So let's talk about what's AppWrite. So what I used to say, it's an open source backend as a service alternative to Firebase, Superbase, Pocketbase. Which one do you want to say? But mostly alternative to Firebase. And AppWrite Heroes, it's an exclusive group of developers who knows about AppWrite and have done base more contributions to AppWrite community by going above and beyond. And that's the way that AppWrite wants to give them recognition. So that's what you could say an AppWrite hero is. And and I want to say that I'm the founding member. So means I'm in the founding group. We had some 5 members when it started last year, and this is the second cohort. And we still haven't the applications open for AppWrite Heroes. So if anyone's interested, they can apply to it.
Awesome. So I guess yeah, anyone watching, if you want to get have a play with AppWrite, get used to it, and start contributing to the community. It's a great way to get recognition for it. I love these hero programs. So I used to be a Microsoft MVP. So back in the day, before I started working for Microsoft, I was a Xamarin MVP, then a Microsoft MVP. And it's kind of nice when you have this technology that you're passionate about, and you're in a community of people who are also passionate about the technology, and then you kind of get this. You get this recognition for what you're doing, but it also kind of comes with a certain amount of support, doesn't it? So you're not just, oh, look, you're great. Here's the thing. It's, oh, and let me give you a bit of extra. Let me give you free access to our cloud offering so that you can build cool apps with it. And obviously tell people about it. Like at Microsoft, we got all the swag and, free access to Azure, stuff like that. So I guess AppWrite's probably the same, isn't it? Here's all the support you need so you can help everyone else in your community.
Yep, exactly. AppWrite do provide pro cloud service, and they also give you some sponsorship if you want to talk about AppWrite in some conference as well. It's case by case basis,
Cool.
but that's good. Yeah.
Yeah, because conferences can be very expensive. There are some that will cover your flights and hotels, but they can be very, very expensive. So if you're going somewhere to talk about it, if they're covering your transport, that's really nice of them. I love the AppWrite crew. I know a few of them, and they are amazing people. So it's kind of great to see just how happy you are to be a part of their program. And I guess traveling as well. You saying about travel to conference. Where in the world are you?
Well, I'm in India. Well,
Okay,
it's 10:30 p.m. So yeah.
cool. Whereabouts in India?
Delhi. It's a
In
Delhi,
Delhi.
Haryana. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So for those who've seen me stream before, you may recognize that I'm not where I normally am. So I'm normally in just outside Seattle on the west coast of the US. I'm currently in Cincinnati. This is where the Pieces head office is. I've flown in for the week. I'm hanging out with the Pieces crew. There's a Cincy AI Week, which is a small Cincinnati-focused AI conference happening. So I'm hanging out here. I'm currently in my Airbnb, so I'm streaming literally I am balanced on a kitchen counter. So yeah, if I turn my camera around, you would see into the Airbnb kitchen. So that's why there's no Star Wars Lego behind me. But for the folks who are watching, where in the world are you? Okay, I always love to hear the different locations people are at when we're when we're hanging out. I've had folks on stream from most parts of the world. So if you're in the chat, please just drop in, say hi, let us know where you are. And yeah, Amitesh is here. So hey, Amitesh, glad to have you with us. But anyone else, jump in the chat, say hello. And we're here to learn. Well, we're here for me to learn because you're an expert already. We're here for me to learn all about Flutter and Dart. And I have some inkling about Flutter. It's a cross-platform framework for building originally mobile apps. I used to do Xamarin, so it's kind of the same idea. You write once, run everywhere on multiple platforms. But tell me about Flutter. What is Flutter and why do you love it so much?
Well, for the first part, the language, Dart, it's easy. I would say it's a mix of so Java and JavaScript. So I wouldn't have to worry much more about the types checking in JavaScript. Which is very horrible, by the way. I love the oops. So secondly, I've noticed that while building apps in Flutter, the UI which you build, it's beautiful. Means it takes less amount of effort to build the same UI compared in React Native to in Flutter. So in Flutter it's quite easy, and it gives you out of the box support for material UI. So that's a plus point. And there's some lots of pre-built components which Flutter gives support out of the box, which can decrease your product development time. That's much I could say. Yeah. So in short, you could build beautiful UIs with less amount of time compared to other things. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So it's based on Dart, which you really like as a language. I've never really used Dart before, so I'm kind of intrigued just to kind of see what it's like compared to other languages.
If you have used Java or C++, you wouldn't have any problem shifting to Dart, honestly.
Not done Java, C++, yes, C#, yes. So
yeah, that's also there. It means any OOPS language, for sure, you won't have any problems. You would see it's familiar. Yeah, the syntax is very familiar.
Cool. We'll dig into that in a second. And you say Flutter, it's all about, it's got material UI and create these kind of, you say, the really nice looking cross-platform UIs. And they've got all the widgets you could possibly imagine, so I can just put stuff on screen and I'll create a great UI.
Yeah.
Nice. Wise says hello. Hey, Wise. Great to have you here with us. Where in the world are you? I'm trying to ask this if everyone is on the stream. Where in the world are you? Let me know. I'd love to hear where everyone is. Cool. Should we do some code then? Should we start with just spinning up a quick Flutter app and see where we go?
I've been waiting for it to do that.
Yay! Okay, so I've got Flutter pre-installed because let's be honest, nobody wants to sit there and watch me try and install Flutter. White is in Uganda. Oh, awesome. It's kind of like halfway between where the two of us are. So great to have you here. That's really cool. Fantastic. Lovely to have you here from Uganda. So what I should probably grab actually is it flutter.dev, isn't it?
Yep.
That's the URL for this. So I'm just going to drop this in the chat for everyone if you want to go and check out Flutter. As it says, build for any screen. This is what you're saying about it's going to cross-platform, so you can build for phones. I guess this is rectangular. It's kind of more like a desktop app or a TV app.
You could build for mobile apps, desktop apps, web app, and even you can use it on embedding devices as well.
Ooh. Okay, so if you're thinking about like a smart thermostat, for example, it's got like a UI
Yep.
that shows the
Yep.
weather and temperature,
Yep.
and that you could use Flutter on those devices as well. Oh,
Yep.
I didn't know that. I do like embedded devices. I used to do a lot of Internet of Things work, so I didn't realize you could run Flutter on those. I'll have to check that out. Yeah, I just dropped the link in the chat to flutter.dev. So anyone who's watching wants to go and check that out. All the get started there should get you installed. I've already done that because you don't want to see me downloading things. So Amitesh is from
Chandigarh.
Chandigarh,
Chandigarh, yeah.
Chandigarh in India. Okay. Oh, and he's jumping between. Okay. So right now my CEO is doing a Twitter space. So hopefully I'm not cannibalizing his any of his audience by doing this. But if he's cannibalized mine, that's fine. He's the boss.
It's fine.
It's all good. Cool. So I've got Flutter installed to do this, and as part of this, there is a VS Code extension, isn't there? So let me just bring this up.
Yep.
There is this extension in VS Code. There's one for Dart, which you say is the language, the underlying language for Flutter, and then we have one for Flutter. And it's got editing, refactoring, running, and reloading. So this have kind of like a hot reload, where you can change the app and it automatically. Ooh.
So what hot reload does is you could change some parts of the code and you don't need to restart the app again.
Nice. Yeah, hot reload is one of those really useful things. Back when I did Xamarin, it was kind of promised that it would be coming, and eventually it kind of did. And it's so useful, especially doing kind of that almost like that pixel level adjustment. I've got this mobile app and it doesn't quite look right. I need to make small tweaks, and having to stop the app, change the code, compile it, redeploy it to a device or simulate that. That kind of inner dev loop was painful. So the fact you can got the hot reload is very, very cool. Okay, I'm excited. Let's do it. Let's get my first app going.
Let's create a new project.
Okay. How do I do that?
Command Shift P, Flutter.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
there's a
Nice. Okay. Oh, and let's give me a whole lot of example projects as well.
Yeah. So we would go with the empty application for now.
An empty application. And then let's drop it on the desktop. Crazy there. What should we call this? What kind of app do you want to build? You mentioned earlier To-Do app because it's kind of
To-Do app, yeah.
So let's call this To-Do.
Yeah, yes. I trust. With every cell of my body.
You trust things too easily. Okay, I've got a large bridge in London I can sell you. We've got the Eiffel Tower's up for sale if you trust me.
Yeah, I trust.
Cool. So I've got this. Let's talk me through this project. What am I seeing here?
So everything starts from the main.dart. We usually have a main file, and void main is the starting root of the function where it's actually called, and run app is the function which you pass in a widget. So in Flutter, everything's a widget, be it your simple view, any property, everything is a widget. You could see material app is a widget, a scaffold is a widget, your my app is a widget.
Right. Okay, so a widget is like any kind of UI component from an individual like button right to the whole application. It's all some kind of widget. And I'm guessing, just look at the code here, they're all kind of nested inside each other. So a widget can contain other widgets, which can contain other widgets, and that's how we construct things. Okay, and then this void main, this is kind of like your standard main function. In C++, you have a void main.
Yeah.
That's
a starting point of your app. Means you could initialize any pre-processed things like loading some files from the database or doing some caching things, and then you can call the run app. Run app is the first thing which you do to launch the app, to launch the UI, basically.
Right. So I guess this is kind of Dart, isn't it? So if I was doing just a generic Dart app that wasn't Flutter, I'll have my void main and my Dart code, but then this run app, this is kind of initializing. This is kind of the Flutter code that we flip from kind of the whole Dart entry point into. This is how I know my Flutter application, and kind of this will spin up the relevant bits and pieces. Got it. Cool. Michael LaRocca has joined us. Says hello. Hey, Michael. Hi. Glad to have you with us. Thank you for joining us. We're asking people where in the world they are. So let us know where in the world you are. We've got folks in India, Uganda. I'm currently in the US. So yeah, let me know where you're from. Actually, another question for the audience. Has anyone done any Flutter in the past or any Dart, or is this completely new to everyone? So drop in the chat. Let me know. Michael's in New York. Awesome. Nice. Great. Same time zone as me. So I'm normally on West Coast, but I'm in Cincinnati at the moment. So I'm close by. So cool. Great to have you here. Okay, so we've got this main Dart, which is our entry point, and this is on our lib folder here. And I'm seeing an Android, an iOS, a Linux, a Mac OS, a web, and a Windows folder. So I'm assuming this is the bits that make it work across platform, because you said I can run this anywhere, didn't you?
Yep. So these are those files that have the magic code of Dart, which communicates between the Dart and the native site.
Right. So if I expand iOS, for example, I've got an Xcode proj.
Yeah.
So Xcode is the tool for building iOS and iOS apps and Mac OS apps. So I'm guessing what happens then is we have this Flutter bit in here. When the Dart code is compiled, it will then push it into the kind of the natively compiled iOS app.
So what it does, if I remember correctly, whenever an app is launched, let's talk about Android. An app is launched, it launches an activity, then then the Dart code runs on top of it. So Dart has its own compiler. It runs. It does not communicate between the native side and the Flutter side. So everything runs on top of it. So every UI component you see is not the native one. It's all built in Dart. It's all built in Flutter.
Okay, so we're not actually using any of the actual Android widgets here. These are right.
So it uses its own rendering engine, its own compiler, its own services. That's it. Unlike in React Native, there's a bridge, if you know.
Because so back in the day when I did Xamarin, that was different. It would actually used to wrap the native components, but Flutter. And I guess the upside of this is, if you want to draw things differently, it's much easier to bring in really nice, beautiful looking widgets because you're not constrained to what it's doing. Okay. So Michael says, not done Flutter, but interested in learning how Pieces works. Okay. I'm actually going to use one of the bits of Pieces right now. I'm going to just save this snippet just as kind of just the basic empty widget, just for my own reference later. So one of the cool features of Pieces is you can save different pieces of code. I'm guessing that's where the name comes from. So I'm actually going to save this code snippet into Pieces. I'm going to save this to Pieces, and what it's going to do is that's going to save my snippet. I'll just show you this actually. In my save materials, there's a snippet I've just saved. And one thing that Pieces does is very cool, is it actually augments what I've saved with a whole lot of metadata. So the AI behind Pieces will work out what the right metadata is and augment the material. So it's saved there. It's got some tags in here. Picks up a description, which is quite cool. So this code snippet creates a material app widget, displays the text "Hello World" when used, and it's dropped a couple of useful links in here. So if I'm ever looking at code and go, "Oh, what is this scaffold messenger class?" I can.
I mean, that's cool. It means I thought it would be a basic snippet one, but yeah, it's nice.
Copy and paste is playing up. I'm using a developer version of the extension at the moment. So come on. Why is the return button wasn't working for me? There we go. So this is kind of a nice. It's kind of nice. It's kind of this tells me about the actual scaffold messenger inside Flutter. So it's worked out that it's a Dart app. If I'm doing searches around, it's going to be a few ideas. Kind of just picked up all this metadata around it, which is very, very cool. So obviously this is just a very simple hello world app. I'm probably not likely to use this later, but once we build up more advanced things, I guess I can just save those individual little snippets and then we can use those later on. So cool. I'm just trying to get in the habit of constantly saving things with pieces because it's amazing the information you get out of it. So yeah. As Michael says, nice. It is. It's pretty powerful. So here's my Flutter app. Should I just run this and see what happens?
Yep. Let's see.
Okay, so how do I run it? If I just press F5, does that work? Is that all? Yeah. Okay. So let's press F5.
It's
worked out on Mac OS.
Yeah, it's gonna build for Mac OS. That's fine, but you could change the platform from down below, where you could see Mac OS Darwin. You could change the platform, or you want to, and you could start up a. Code sign failed. Okay. Could you run Flutter Doctor space -v?
Okay. The Flutter Doctor, this is the kind of the cool tool that verifies everything works, isn't it?
Yeah.
And then so that's all fine. Got Xcode installed.
Yep, it's fine.
Let's just try that again.
In debug console.
Debug console, there we go.
Code sign failed. Could you ask pieces about it? Let's see. Means it's a new error. It usually happens if you don't have a signing key for the iOS, but it should not.
Let's ask pieces. So yes. Start a new conversation. So this is one of the other tools of pieces. I'm in a pieces copilot. I got this error in Flutter. What should I do? Okay. So it's telling me to check my certificates and profiles, update Xcode, clean the build, check signing settings, update Flutter dependencies, delete derived data, check keychain access, manual code signing, reboot your system if all else fails. Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, because that was Mac OS, maybe we'll try iOS.
Yep.
Let's see what happens with iOS. Because I mentioned build it with iOS. We'll build iOS with verbose. So I wonder if there's something in. Maybe it's just a signing issue for Mac OS. Okay, so that's now 2 devices connected. So now if I click build. Okay, so now it's going to install a load of iOS tools. The first one I've done iOS. There's a lot of tooling to install.
That's fast, yeah.
Okay, and then how to code sign?
Could not. Let's open Xcode. Then we have to see what's the error.
So in Xcode, and then
and open the project.
The actual project from here, Mac OS.
No. Oh yeah.
Let's reveal that and find.
We need for the iOS one, right?
Not iOS. Sorry, iOS. Yeah, because we want to do this in iOS, don't we? So iOS.
Click on the runner. Yeah, that's fine, but
Can I build it? Oh, there we go. Building. I wonder if it's something really stupid, like I've just got this on my desktop, and because of the file access controls.
That could be an issue, yeah. But I just want to double check. If you could click on the runner, oh, it works. Okay, so maybe a file issue.
Okay, so you know what? Let's close that. Let's quit out of that. Stop the tasks. Okay, let's close the simulator, and then because I do this on my desktop, and Mac has this weird thing where it doesn't. Move that. And then file, open folder, put it in here. Open. Sean okay, so Michael LaRocca says it's great to get immediate error information like that. Oh yes, it's kind of a nice thing. We got an error, just like right click and just copy it into the Pieces Copilot. I'll show some later on. I'll show you some more cool things with Pieces for finding errors. But yes, you're right. That's very useful. And Sean Tiz says you must have beast level RAM for Xcode to be loading that fast while streaming. Not sure if it's beast level RAM, but I do have an M3 with 24 gigs. So I've literally only just started at Pieces. I've been at Pieces for 2 weeks and 1 day. So of course, when I get a laptop, it's always going to be a brand new one because I've just started. So yeah, it's a MacBook Air because I travel a lot. But yeah, M3, 24 gigs of RAM. So fast things are fast, which is very, very cool. Okay, so if we go back to iOS, we're going to start iOS simulator. Let's see if it was just that file location, because that would be a really annoying Flutter thing.
Yeah,
that is the case. And let's just run this. Fingers crossed. Sacrifice to the demo gods. You know. Let's go build done. Oh, that was it. That was it. So what have we learned here today? Do not run Flutter on Mac OS when your project is on the desktop, because it doesn't work. You have to put it somewhere else. So if there's anyone from the Flutter team watching this, this is a bug. So if anyone wants to fix this, that would be cool. Okay, so we've got this hello world and it's running. And you said about the hot reload.
Yep, you could change the text.
Okay. Interesting.
Yep.
So I do that.
And Command S.
Okay, because I've got autosave turned on.
But if you press Command S, it would trigger hot reload.
Right. Okay. So it's not going to happen as I'm typing, which I guess makes sense because it's happening as I'm typing. It's going to be really, really slow. So
yeah.
Okay, but I change it there, and obviously it says hello Pieces. That's really, really cool.
Yeah.
Okay, I like that. I like that. Actually, I'm curious now. I'm curious as to why can Flutter hot reload work with VS Code autosave? I wonder if I can actually.
It works with autosave, yes.
It claims it does. It says it does because I've got it turned on. Got autosave turned on. Got it installed. Okay, but we're not seeing that because if I just change this back to world, it has saved due to the autosave, but that doesn't trigger the hot reload.
But you still need to trigger it, yeah. But it's not going to happen.
Yeah, so this is lying. This is actually lying. Whichever. This is what GPT 4.0 The GPT-4o is lying to me because that claims it does. So OpenAI, you tell lies. You tell lies. Cool. So how do we build out this to-do app? What's your kind of your normal process now? You've done your hello world, you've got your scaffold app. What's your normal process for building this app?
Well, I'll first start by setting up the routes, the themes, and then extracting those widgets means doing a document folder structure, and then maybe building up pieces of UI first, something like that. Yeah, have this
Okay.
in mind. Yeah.
Okay.
So
what should I do?
what I would do? Let's remove line 13 to line 16, and
That's all
yeah, just remove it. Remove.
all the
No.
scaffold.
Yeah, scaffold. Yeah, that's it. My bad.
Yeah. Okay. So
We
just got the
don't.
basic app now.
Mhm. So let's set up routes. Let's create some new files first.
Okay.
We'll call it first home dot dot.
Okay. But this would still live in the same lib folder, is it?
Yeah.
Okay. So home dot dot.
And do you have snippets installed? If you could type STL, what would it show? Yeah, that's it. That is stateless with it. So
Okay. So stateless widget and stateful. What is a stateless widget?
A stateless widget, it's a widget which does not have any mutable state. So for example, if you want to trigger that build function again internally, then you need to use a stateful widget. We would explore more as we develop along. We would definitely use a stateful widget.
Okay, so I guess when we think about to-do app, I've got a list of to-do tasks, haven't I? And again, each one I've got is it done or not? That's the state, isn't it? So when we have a stateful widget would be one that would show that state, whereas the home page is just like a container. It doesn't have a state in its own right, so that's why it's a stateless. Is that right?
For the time being, yes. We see if we need to have, if home needs to have a state, we'll convert it to stateful widget.
Cool. Awesome. And Chrissy's here. Hey, Chrissy, how you doing? Great to have you joining us. Chrissy's awesome. So really great to have her with us. Cool. Okay, so this is my stateless widget.
Let's rename the widgets first. My widget to home page. Yeah.
Home page.
Yeah. And then let's go to main dot dot.
Mm-hmm.
And material app. So basically, material app gives you a boilerplate, gives you a lot of initial configuration setups. So it setups your basic routes, themes, localizations. Yeah, that's pretty much the main things that material app does. So it also initializes all the material UI stuff, so which you could use in the components, which would be used later. So
I could kind of theme at this level, for example. If I theme at the app level, the theme would apply to all the bits inside.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Cool. Okay. So it has its all initial means the default app themes and stuff, but you could change it if you want at the top level, and it would all be reflected at. So we need to use routes first. So let's see the route param. Yeah, routes. So it accepts some app. So dictionary.
The dictionary is that like that? Okay. That's what Copilots have me. So it's
that's it. That exactly
what we want.
And it would. So it's not a constant anymore. So remove the const before the material app.
Okay.
And homepage, we need to import it.
Okay, cool.
And it,
Okay, so what is this doing? I'm going to use pieces explain here. Little code lens for pieces. So what it does is, okay, so that's the name of the route, which is slash, and then when we reach this route, so in British English it's route, in American English it's route. So yeah, I say route, you say route. I say tomato, you say tomato. Yeah. So this is basically when we hit this point. This is a function that returns the new widget. So I guess it's kind of mirroring kind of like a website design that slash is the route. So this is the route, as it were, or the route that goes to this page. Because there's a thing you can do in web apps, in mobile apps, where you can deep link to a page. So is this the same kind of idea? That kind of if I have a deep link to a page in the app, these routes would then be part of that deep linking.
This should handle it, but I'm not sure if the existing configuration should be able to handle that. Basically, we use a package called GoRouter that handles the deep linking stuff. But I think this can do it, but we need to set up some native code. So we need to do a bit of native code.
Okay, I'm probably just jumping ahead. It's just because I remember doing all this stuff years and years ago. That's all. Okay, and I've got a blue squiggly here about saying use const. Is this a thing we care about, or?
It's just to increase the performance. So if the app rebuilds, means if the build method is invoked again, it sees if a widget is marked as const, so it wouldn't trigger a rebuild on that particular widget. So that's what const does.
Okay, so if the widget is const, it's saying that the widget's never going to change. So it's only the non-const ones. But I guess at some point inside this homepage, things will change. So we probably don't want this as const right now.
Those things, some things will change, but those which are marked const would never change. So it would just ignore it.
Cool, ignore it. Okay, so this is a route. I'm going to actually I'm just going to save this snippet as well. Cool.
Then let's go to the homepage. Let's design the actual UI first. So instead of placeholder, we'll use scaffold. Scaffold. So it is a boilerplate widget which does a lot of things for you. Means it sets up the themes, it gives you an app bar implementation, a bottom tab bar, a drawer with material UI. So if you use app bar as the Copilot suggests, and do hot reload, not hot restart.
Do that. It's.
I think we need to do hot restart. I need to do. It's stuck. If you could see, it's at the breakpoint. Why?
Let me just stop it and run it again.
That's not needed. You could use hot restart. It will just restart the application as normal.
Okay.
So we really need to use stop. That's it. We have it.
Cool. There we go. So we've got to-do list. That's the app bar title.
That's the app bar.
I've just got my body. Okay. So this is kind of my home page. It's the title, and then whatever goes. Cool. Okay. Nice.
Okay. So let's start by building tiles first. A list tile, which would have a description of the to-do. And then at the end, we have a tick mark if it's done or not, something like that. What do you think?
Yep, because this is going to be, it's in the list. You have the name and the checkbox. So they say that's an actual tile. That's the component. So we're going to build a new UI component, essentially, a new widget, I suppose. But that's going to be the tile, and then we can put those in there. Okay. Yeah. Let's do it. Before we do, let's say hello to Ember Sun. Hey. Great to have you with us. Whereabouts in the world are you? Keep asking folks this. Whereabouts in the world are you? But yeah, great to have you with us. And have you done Flutter? Questions we're asking everyone. So everyone else who's just joined as well. Have you done Flutter before? Whereabouts in the world are you? Jump in, say hello. Although we're geeking out on this, we're happy to answer your questions. So if you've got any questions about what I'm doing with pieces or what we're doing building this app, be more than happy to answer them. So yeah, just jump in the chat. We're here to hang out with you as well. So do I build this widget in a new file or in a?
Let's start with the home page itself, and as we move further, if it gets more nested, we'll extract it.
Cool.
So let's remove the center widget, and as the body parameter accepts child. So a child could be a single widget, but we need children. We need multiple components, right? We need multiple lists.
Okay.
So what we could do is
a list view or something. Or?
Let's start with column first. We would need a list view, but let's see how we would redesign the list style first. So let's see how that looks. Then we will just refactor it to list view. And now this expects the children. Column expects the children. Now here you could add multiple widgets in the list. So we need a list style. A list style is a widget provided by the Flutter itself. If you use this, so list style.
List tile, yeah?
Yeah. It needs a title, yeah.
Okay, so let's just.
Oh, yeah, that's fine.
It's a title, yeah.
And if you command S, if you save means, yeah. See, we have a list style.
So it's just got one item in it. Hard coded one item with a delete button.
And if you copy paste the multiple list style widgets, the same thing, get multiple widgets.
Okay, so if I were to do call that task 2, save that, and we've got multiple widgets. We've got Christine Belize in the chat. Hey, Christine, great to have you with us. And Christine is saying pieces is awesome. Yes, pieces is awesome. Great to have you with us. And Sean is joining from London. Nice. Used to live and work in London, so great to have you here. Only built mobile apps in Swift. First time seeing Flutter in action. Yeah, nice. I've never done Swift. I've done Objective-C back in the day, but when it first came out, when you're first building for the App Store, never actually picked up Swift. So did Objective-C, did Xamarin, now playing with Flutter. So definitely later on it'd be interesting to hear your take on how you think Swift compares with Flutter. I guess Swift UI is probably the closest. But at the very least, Flutter is definitely better because I can just run this on Android with one click. Can't quite do that on Swift. Cool. Okay, so I've got these hard-coded list tiles. But I guess the goal here really is not to have them hard-coded, is it? We need some kind of way of storing them.
So let's extract the list style. So if you click on the list style and press command dot plus dot here, it says extract widget.
Extract widget.
And we could name it as to-do tile or something like that.
To-do tile. There we go.
And we could delete this part.
No, just do, okay. So it's got one to-do tile.
And you could copy paste multiple to-do tiles. It would still show in the list, but we want that the to-do tile should accept a title and a on-click function. So we could add new properties inside the class to-do tile. Right?
Okay. How do I?
So in Oops,
you know what? You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take this code. I'm going to go pieces. I'm going to ask the pieces copilot, how do I add a property called title to this widget? Okay. So let's insert that code and remove this code. Does that look right to you?
Yep.
Nice. This is one of the cool things with pieces, is just being able to ask questions of the code that's in front of you. It's very, very cool. So, okay, so what we've got here, and this is going to be a kind of a Dart level question. We've got this as final. So it comes in here. It's marked as required on the way in and final. What does this mean?
So by default, Dart doesn't allow variables to be null. So it has null safety. So the required means that this property should be compulsory. You need to pass something when you're creating an instance of to-do type. And final means once it's assigned, the value is never going to change. Similar like const. The only difference between const and final is the const is at compile time, while final would be at runtime.
Yeah, gotcha. Okay, cool. And then we've got this key. I noticed it's being passed in a couple of times. There's this key.
So stateless widgets, those stateless widget have a property called key. So key could be anything. It could be a value key, global key. So basically, it means you're assigning you could say that you're assigning some value to the widget that could be used later on to identify the type of it. For example, if you pass a value key and give it some value to it, you could, if you see the context value, you could use it to find information about that particular widget of that particular key, either through the DevTools, which you see the graph which opens every time if you run the app, or you could see at the top right near the stop button where you could see the DevTools. You could see the information about that tile.
Right.
You could use it to access some. Yeah.
Okay, so if I had a key assigned to one of these, I could actually see that key in here, which is useful when I've got lots of things on the screen. And then at runtime, that key could be like the ID in the database of the particular record. So Gotcha. Sean Tiz says, Flutter would be a huge time saver for cross-platform. Swift UI is great, but I find myself using UIKit a lot more whenever I really want functionality. So, okay, yeah, I've heard this with Swift UI. It's like a cool layer on top, but it's missing everything. But yes, for cross-platform, tools like Flutter, what was Xamarin, now .NET MAUI, React Native, you're building the app once instead of 2, 3, 4 times. So it is a massive, massive time saver. Obviously, you don't necessarily get all the native things that you need, but it is a big time saver. So cool. Okay, I've now got a red squiggly here because we've added this. Was title?
Yeah.
Like that, yeah.
And this just says to make it const, but you won't see any changes, right? Or do you? Okay, we are using the property.
Yeah, cool. So we don't have to pass this key. And I'm curious about this syntax because to me, this looks like it's an object that's being expected.
No. So, it's a type of constructor. These are name parameters, if you could say, I guess. Yeah. So there are two types of constructor initialization: one without the squiggly brackets, one with this. So what it does, and there are three types basically: one without the squiggly brackets, one with square brackets, one with this exactly. So this one, it tells that if you use squiggly brackets like this, you could keep the order of the constructor parameters any way you like. So if you, as you can see, you pass the title right now, but if you want to pass a key as well, you could do it next to it instead of doing it before doing like this.
Right. It's because they're name parameters. We don't care what order they're in because
If you remove the squiggly brackets, then you have to pass it in the correct order. and then you couldn't use the required parameter anymore because that's by default required.
Gotcha. And then this key as well, it's got super.key. So that's obviously, this is the key property from the base class, isn't it?
Yeah. Super. So it's used to call the super method is used to call super keyword is used to call the methods for the base classes.
Mm-hmm. So what's happening here is when I set the key here, because there's no body to this constructor. So when I set the key here, this is going to essentially pass that through. So if I go look at the stateless widget, that has got key as well. So that's going to pass it through to the superclass as far as it needs to go. So that's just by having the super.key, it's saying there's a property called key, parameter called key, that when you pass it in, the constructor doesn't do anything. It just calls the base class constructor, which passes that in. Cool.
Yep.
Cool. That's a really cool way of doing it, because in other languages you would do this, and then inside the body you'd have to go, either super.key equals key, or you'd do something like, base key. Most this is kind of just happens automatically. Nice.
Well, we used to do it earlier, but with the improvements of the Dart language, we don't need to.
Okay, so it's kind of a recent improvement in Dart that does this. Cool. I like that. Actually, I guess a question for the folks in the chat: has anyone done any Dart? Sean Tiz mentioned the does Swift UI not Flutter, but has anyone just done any Dart for anything else? Because I guess because Dart's not just for Flutter, is it? There are people building apps with Dart, I assume, not just Flutter apps.
You can even build a backend using Dart. We have serverpod or Dart, I guess. Which you could.
So anything you can do in any language, you can do in Dart. It's just another general purpose language. It just happens to be the one that shows Flutter. Okay. Yeah, Michael says, not done Dart. It seems pretty, as you were saying, it's if you know any other OOP languages, it's kind of similar-ish.
Yep.
Yeah. Cool. Okay, so we have our tile. It's got a title. It's got a button.
Yep.
And what I'm going to do is I'm going to just grab this, save that little snippet. Just as I learn the language, I'm going to go, how did I do the thing again? And so I'll just save that snippet and easily look that up. Cool. Okay. What do we need to do next?
We need to also pass a callback function to the tile as well. So we need a new property called function. So you could use a void callback. Final void callback on pressed.
Is it void callback? Okay, like that.
No. Together. Void callback as in together. So it's a type def function.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, this
void callback. And that's on
pressed.
On pressed. Okay.
And add final field form parameters. Yeah.
There we go. Yeah. Okay, so void callback's actually a type of.
It's type def, yeah.
Of a void function. Okay, functions. Okay. So this is just, it is a type of a function that returns nothing, that does something.
Yeah.
Cool. So I'm assuming
then we need to pass it to this as well.
So can I just set unpressed as unpressed?
And since we made it required, we need to pass it above as well. In where we're using
in here. Yeah. Okay.
You could pass empty.
Yeah, just empty function. Can I just print?
Yeah, you could.
Do something like that. And then if I hot reload.
You need to press the trash icon because we.
Oh. There we go.
We could make the whole tile clickable, but For
now, we just okay. That's the icon button that's unpressed.
Yeah.
So, and there you go. And you can see down here, it's
press 7 times.
7 times pressed. Nice. That's quite cool. Yeah. I love the idea of passing around functions as variables. Got into F# with functional programming a fair few years ago. And just the fact a function is just a thing. Just pass it around. You can call it everywhere. It's done in so many different ways, so many different languages. Just such a great idea. Yeah, it's just a variable, just a pointer to a function. Just pass it around, do things with it.
Just pass.
Very cool. Yeah, cool. Okay, so this is what we're going to use essentially to control the checked, unchecked. So this is going to update some kind of. Really, it's going to update some kind of state, isn't it? Rather than.
Yeah. So instead of trash icon, we should have a Boolean variable to check if it's selected. Then we should show a check mark. So we need another parameter called, what do you say?
The
final selected or check. Is
checked.
Check. And
is checked.
Yeah. And let's not make it required. Just remove the required. And assign a default value equal to false inside the constructor.
Yeah. Would it be final though? Because once we're tapping it, we're checking and unchecking it, aren't we?
Since we are having a state not inside the list style but above it, so it's going to create a new instance again and again. So the new widget is going to destroy. It's going to be created again. So it's still going to remain the same. So it's not.
Got it. Yeah. So when we actually change the underlying to-do item, we're not changing the widget. We're creating a brand new widget.
Yep.
With the new state. Got it. So this icon then.
You could do it inside the. You could do it inside the constructor itself. Icon constructor itself. So if checked, ternary, you could use the ternary operators. No, not if.
But
checked.
Is it like that?
Yep. Icons dot circle. Yeah.
Circle. Okay, so icons dot
circle check. Check circle. Yeah. Check circle underscore.
Check circle. Check underscore circle. Yeah.
And we need to remove the const. Now it's not going to be a const anymore.
This one here.
Yeah.
There we go. Okay. So in this case, check defaults to false. So if I save this, we get the circle.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. Because I guess, we're handing everything up here, aren't we? So this is very much immutable. The function we've got here is going to change some state further up here. So this is truly a stateless widget in that the only state is what's passed in when it's constructed. And then we just throw the widget away and create a new one when we want to change the state.
Yep.
Cool. Okay, and then I'm going to just save this snippet as well, because again, each language has different ternary operators. And so that's exactly the same as the.
Most of them looks like this, means as the one which I've worked with.
Yeah, but then you hit Python, which will be if this, the value, if this, else, other value. And so I spend a lot of time in Python. So I would start typing. So Python would be, icon starts, check circle, if checked, else, icons or circles. So that's what would be in Python, which is very
and that's ternary. That's a ternary operation.
That's a ternary operation in Python. Yeah.
Which
kind of makes sense. Is this if this situation? Otherwise, it's something else. It's more readable, I guess, than this. And then some languages, there's like a double.
That's for nullability
null checks.
Check. Yeah.
Yes.
We do have in Dart as well, but it's not null, so we don't do it. Check. We don't do it.
Yeah. Cool. Okay. So we've now got this tile. Nice.
So we were saying about turning the home page into a stateful widget. I think now it's the time to do it.
Okay. Can I just do a thingy?
Yeah.
Oh. That was nice. That was easy.
Yeah. I know. So now you could see it has a state type home page, and it calls the create state function. You could ask us to explain.
Yes. Okay. There's a lot of stuff there. So state method requires the state, the extend state, so this is the homepage widget. In Flutter, the state class holds the mutable state for a stateful widget. Okay, so the actual create state returns this homepage state, and this homepage state. So when we have this like this, it's basically creating a new homepage state. So it's kind of got that nice short circuiting of code. You don't have to do this, return this. You've just got that. C# has a similar kind of thing for those kind of one-line functions, which is really nice. So yeah, equivalent to that.
Oh, yeah.
Cool. So the actual widget itself is part of the state. So the state is not just the data; it's the UI as well.
No.
Because this homepage state extends the state of homepage, but it actually has a build command in the state object that returns the UI.
Yeah, that returns the UI, yes. And if you want to change the state, then you could use some variables, toggle it, and then call a set state method that re-triggers the build method again.
Okay, so the build is part of the state because when that state updates, it needs to trigger the build method, so it needs to kind of be in the same place. That's why it's in the same state object.
Kind of like
okay, yeah. Okay, cool. So we need some kind of state. So this is where we need to store a list of to-do items in their check status.
Before creating a list, let's create a class that contains a title and whether it's selected or not.
Okay, makes me a dot class that has two properties, a title that is a string and a checked property is a bool.
Also tell him to implement toJSON and fromJSON methods. So if we make a fetch call from the server, so that handles, it creates those.
Add to and from JSON methods to the task class. Cool. Okay. So first thing it's saying we need Dart convert. So that's the standard JSON converter.
Let's create another file. Let's make another file for that.
Okay. So you know what? Let's just copy this whole thing, and then I guess task.dart. Does that be in the same place?
You could do it and create a new folder called models and put it under there. But
I mean, let's do that.
Yeah.
Models task.dart. I'm dropping that and just get rid of that.
No.
Stop. I clicked the wrong thing. Let's get rid of, there we go. Yes.
So
yeah. Okay. So I don't actually need Dart convert. Okay, cool. Does this look about right? To JSON title checked, from JSON title checked, strings bool.
We don't need that name constructor. Instead, you could do it simply with that squiggly brackets for the simple normal constructor.
So do.
And we need it to be final as well.
Is it required as well? Yeah.
Yeah, required. We don't need this one to be required. We could just mark it as false as default.
Okay.
Equal to false, yeah.
Yeah. And then these are final.
Yeah.
I guess the title is final, but the checked value is not final, is it? Because we're going to be changing it as we go along.
We would be creating a new instance of this also every time.
Oh, okay. Okay. So when I actually change the check,
yeah,
it will.
We should also add a copy with constructor as well. You could ask
how do
Pieces to do that.
I could indeed ask Pieces to do that, couldn't I? Let's do this. Pieces, ask Copilots, add a copy with constructor, you called it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so it's actually called copy with, this one here, yeah?
Yeah.
So we've got a named constructor, which is tasked with details, and there's a copy.
You can remove this name constructor.
Yeah. Okay. Because I saw some squigglies down here, because this is where we're returning out a new task. This is not liking.
Because now it needs the name parameters, right?
Yes. Yep. Of course. Ah. Why can't? There we go. Cool. So we have copy with, and that's got some. This is the null coalescing as we were saying before.
Yeah.
So that's the. So folks who are not seeing this, this is the one that says use this value unless it's null. If it's null, use this value. So yeah. Cool. Okay, so copy with, this is one where you can say, I want an exact copy of this thing, except I want you to change these values as well. So copy this with these extra values. Yeah. So this is, I guess, how we'd check it, isn't it? We would create a copy with the checked value being true.
We would be creating a new instance. We just be creating a new copy of that object.
Yeah.
Just
so so we'd use copy with, and the only value we'd set is the checked, isn't it? Because that way we'll just bring the title over from the other one. Yeah. Cool. I like that. That's really cool. Yeah, by the way, folks in the chat, if you've got any questions about this, you're curious about anything, just jump in the chat, ask questions. Yeah, we're here to answer everything. So, if you've got any questions about Dart or the things I'm doing with Pieces, just let me know. We're here to help. Actually, I guess a question for everyone who's watching: how many to-do apps have you built in your life? Because they are one of the kind of classic hello world apps. So, yeah, if you've built a to-do app, let me know how many you've built. I've probably built 20 in my life in various different forms. This is the first one, Flutter. So, HRA4242 says, I really want to learn Swift, but I don't find the time currently. Yeah, I know that feeling. I want to learn all the things. If anyone wants to give me a big bag of money so that I don't need to work again and I can spend my entire life learning all the things, I would be very, very happy. So just putting it out there. Someone wants to send me, I don't know, 10 million bucks or something so I can live out the rest of my days just learning things. You'd make me happy. So, yeah. It's not going to work, is it?
One day.
One day.
One day for sure. Let's not lose hope. Yeah.
Sorry?
Let's not lose hope. One day someone might adopt us. Yeah.
Yeah, might do. Yeah. Amethyst says, hello again. It's like a good Flutter tutorial being created. Yes. This is a good Flutter tutorial. And Amethyst follows up with, I started learning Dart once, but stopped after watching just one tutorial. I'm actually quite liking Dart so far. It seems quite obvious the thing it's doing. So I'm quite liking it. I think I need to do a lot more of this. It seems quite nice. And HRA4242 says, how do you like Flutter so far? So far, I think it's quite nice. yeah, I'm liking the hot reload. That thing is so cool to me. So I'm looking forward to kind of seeing more of that in action as we do more of this. So I'm liking Flutter so far. And Sean Tiz says, I feel like the Chat GPT wrapped app is the new hello world of app exercises in place of to-dos. Yeah, yeah. There is kind of a lot of those. Build your own Copilot, build your own Chat GPT app. That's a thing. Maybe, well, I'm actually going to be doing that probably next week. So Twilio are running a challenge to build an AI-powered app with Twilio. So my plan for next week is to actually write a Twilio-based SMS app that talks to pieces. So you can actually chat over SMS with the pieces Copilot. So that'll be next week's stream. So Sean, same time, same place, just next week. You will see me building a Chat GPT app with SMS. That could be fun. Cool. Okay, so we have our task. We have our nice object here.
Yeah.
And I'm going to save this copy with, just because I'm going to remember. Oh, there was a way in Dart of doing this. I'm going to need to look it up. So I'm going to save that snippet. Cool.
Also, if you want to avoid this much boilerplate, I guess there's some extension that do these stuff for you. You could write Dart data generator, I guess. That should do it.
Okay, so Dart has a way of generating code. So you could have something where you say,
there are some extensions developed by third-party communities, so those do things for you.
Okay. Let's see what's in the marketplace for a Dart generator. Okay, let's just try Dart then.
I guess the extensions is not working for me as well.
Yeah, it's been down quite a lot recently. So, oh well. Oh yeah, extensions is dead. Okay. I mean, let's see. That's actually this code marketplace. Yeah, it looks like the actual marketplace itself is dead. Yeah, I was doing this the other day. So, yeah. Oh well. But yeah, okay. So we say there are probably extensions for doing this. HRA4242 saying, can someone remind me what Flutter and Dart actually are? Heard about them, but never had the time to look up exactly what they do. From what I see, it looks like TypeScript.
Well,
okay.
You could say Dart is a bit like TypeScript. Means I could say it's a bit like a Java and TypeScript. So you have types, but you also have object-oriented programming. Flutter, it's a framework to build beautiful mobile cross-platform applications. That's not just mobile, you could build for desktop apps and for web apps as well.
So Dart's the underlying language. Flutter is the cross-platform framework. Yeah. So I hope that answers your question. Yeah, I'm finding Dart to be very similar to a lot of standard object-oriented languages. It's nicely type safe. It's all very class-based, got object hierarchies in there. And yes, so far it's quite nice. I'm liking it. Cool. So we have these tasks. We need somewhere to persist it. So is there like a standard way of having this kind of app state that lives in your app and gets saved down, or do you do it on the page basis?
So let's go to home.dart again. And we'll create a list of inside the homepage state.
In the homepage state. Okay. So a list
of task list. Yeah, list of tasks. Yeah.
Task. Okay.
And yeah, you could do this. You need to have a variable name, right?
Yeah, this task.
Tasks.
So task, yeah. And of course, I need to bring in the.
Yep.
There we go. So this is going to be this empty list. So I suppose I could put one in here, couldn't I? I could do Yeah. And this is that. Yeah. True. Just for demo purposes. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I've got these tasks, and then how do I convert these tasks? It's like a mapper function or something for.
Yeah, we have, but let's convert. Now let's use the list view finally. So remove the column widget,
The whole column widget.
and and we'll use list view dot builder.
Builder. Okay. And that's just filled in up. Oh, okay. That's written a load of code for me. So we have the count of items in the list view is the size of our tasks.
Yeah.
And then the actual builder, I guess this is a function that builds it.
Yeah.
This is called, I guess, for each item from 0 to item count -1, yeah. And then we get the task from our list and we build a tile. And then when we press it, it will update the task to be the copy with.
Yep.
Okay, that seems like something we should test out, really.
Yep.
Let's run this and see what we've got. Because this set state, you mentioned this before. This is something that when you do it, it causes the reload.
Yeah, this function set state takes a callback function which tells that now it's the time that the build method needs to be rerun again. The old state has been it's old, and something new just happened, and you need to update it. Just rerun it again. So
there's no kind of direct binding as such. It's just this is just hard coded to the value, and then the set state means it knows what fields have changed up at the UI. So I think about back to Xamarin Days, for example. Xamarin Forms would have this kind of binding idea. So it'd be this. There's a relationship between this property and this on my UI widget and this value, and then I have to raise an event to say this property has changed, so the widget knows to reload that value. Whereas this is taking the approach of it's just regenerating the widget essentially. So
sounds about right. Yeah.
I can then check and uncheck these.
That's it.
And that's because this isn't a checkbox here. It's not like I'm just ticking a UI component. I'm just swapping out the icons.
Yep.
Which kind of really proves it works. Nice. This is very cool. Okay.
And I think we should create one more thing. We should add a function to add your tasks.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. So I guess we need some kind of text box, don't we, at the bottom?
I'm thinking of adding a floating action button at the bottom, and when you click on it, it opens up a dialog which asks the title of the task. What do you think?
Yeah, we can do that. Because in Android, you get these floating buttons kind of sit on top of the thing, don't they? So you can have the list of tasks going all the way down, and the button would sit on top of that list because it's as the name suggests, it's a floating action button. It floats on top. Yeah. Okay. So because my body here is a list view, which I'm assuming just contains a list view. So would I have to wrap this in something?
So scaffold contains a new parameter called floating action button.
Oh, cool. Well, there we go. Floating action button. We've got location, an animator. Nice. So as part of the scaffold, we've got the app view. It's already got the structure of the app view, the body, whatever you put there.
App bar, body, floating action button, the bottom navigation bar, the drawers, the right drawer, everything. Means all the components that a material UI would have.
Nice. So floating action button is a floating action button.
Button widget, yeah.
Got an on-press thing.
Not like this. We should spawn a dialog box, something.
Yeah.
So there's a method called show dialog. Show dialog, yeah.
Yeah.
And it takes a context here, and we need to define a builder. A builder is a function which has a context.
Same as we had here for the list view, isn't it? It's just a builder that builds things. Yeah, same idea.
Yeah.
So this would be, you said it takes the context.
Yeah.
Is it that? Is that
No,
syntax?
no. Yeah.
Just that.
That's the mistake most when you switch between TypeScript and Dart.
Yeah, I mean, I don't do much TypeScript, but I do like C# where you'd have that. So, okay, Sean Tiz actually asked a question. Is this duck typing in Dart, or is it more strict? And from my understanding, it's strict typing, isn't it?
Nope. But you can make it more stricter. Means there's two ways. You could make it less strict. You can make it more strict.
Right.
So there's a thing if you use dynamic, a type dynamic, it could be anything. It could be integer, float, double, anything. But
Okay.
I like to enforce typing, so I know what's the type of it actually.
Mm-hmm. But I guess in this case, we're not defining the type for this, so it's not duck typing in the sense like TypeScript will just go, oh, it looks like it is. It's more type inference, so it's actually getting it's enforcing that this matches the exact type behind the scenes. So it's more type inference than just.
Not really, but
no,
it's already enforced. If you hover over the builder method, it says I need a widget.
Yeah, but whatever this is going to be, this will be typed internally to be a function that returns a function that takes a build context and returns a widget. So we couldn't have something that looks like a function that takes a build context and return a widget. It has to be the strong type. I mean, duck typing and type inference is very, very similar, but things like TypeScript is a bit more flexible on some of the typing. As long as it kind of looks right, it is right, even though that you can have two objects that are identical, but they're defined as different types, and TypeScript will take both of those because they look the same. But obviously, that's not correct if you're using strict typing, because it's not the same thing. So, in this case, it's inferring the right type.
Okay. Yeah.
Cool. So probably don't need all that, do we?
Yep. Let's see what type of dialogues do we have in the docs. We have a lot of dialogues, so I need to check which one is.
We don't need. Actually, let's do some docs. I agree. Let's do some docs. And we use this to show off some cool features of pieces in a minute. So,
if you search dialogue,
yeah,
the first one, it
so
will actually tell you
class.
which one to use.
Okay, that's a typical dialogue, and what we've got here in the code.
Oh. So it uses dialog widget. We also have a widget called dialog. I forgot. On line number 34.
34. Oh yeah, dialogue. So that's your widget called a dialogue.
Yeah.
Cool. So is there already a dialogue that takes an input box, or isn't really? Is there? Alert, simple.
No. We have to build it.
Okay, so we need a dialogue widget. Okay. So I'm just going to show off a cool feature of Pieces Desktop. So I'm just going to bring up the Pieces Desktop app. So I'm using the Pieces integration in Visual Studio Code, but there is a desktop app, and I'm going to bring this up here. I'm going to create a new chat. Just going to show this off. Turn on live context, and this will actually be aware of everything that I've been doing, everything I've been working on. So what was I just reading about? What Flutter widget was I just reading about? Oh, look, first one here, dialogue. You're reading about the dialogue class.
So it scans your window and tells about it.
So everything you interact with, it runs OCR over it. It's got smarts in there to make sure it's not capturing anything it shouldn't. Anything, if I was looking at my bank information, for example, it wouldn't capture that kind of stuff.
Okay.
So it picks up all the code-related things. It saves the relevant bits, so I can ask questions. It's kind of great. Imagine you said yes, we can build a dialogue, and then we went for lunch and we came back. It's like, what were we just doing? What were we doing? Kind of ask that question, and it'll answer it. So a very cool feature of Pieces. But it does this kind of stuff. It kind of keep an eye on what you're doing, the chats you're having. In fact, what did Sean Tiz ask just now? Is this duck typing in data or is it more strict? Ask that at 2:20. Because I've got on a different monitor, I've got the chat up. So pretty cool stuff.
I still have a question though.
Yeah.
You just turned on the live context, right? So it was just recording in the background without my permission?
Yep. Well, no, I had to turn all this on when I installed this. So when I installed Pieces, I can configure that I want live context turned on. You can turn it off as you kind of go along. You can turn it off for a period of time or turn it on as and when you want the recording to happen. But when you do a new chat, you can say what context do I want this chat to have. So if I want this chat to look at what I've done, I can turn the context on or off. But it's pretty secure. We take everything we capture. We don't just capture all the screenshots. We OCR it. We just put out relevant information. We kind of reduce that down and save it as embeddings. We only remembers for a short period of time. Anything that's not used gets deleted. So yeah, it's not creeping on you. It's all on device. Does not leave the device at all. So when I ask questions of it, even though I'm using GPT-4, when I'm asking questions, it's all the embeddings are run locally. It's all stored locally. All the OCR is processed locally. So it's not sending what it's capturing on screen up to GPT-4. It's all doing that locally. So the only thing that kind of leaves my device is what it needs, the embeddings it needs when it interacts with GPT-4. But I could change this to be a completely on-device model if I wanted to. So that way, nothing leaves my computer at all to do this. But I'm going to use GPT-4 because it's slightly faster. So, but it's very, very cool. It's very, very cool. Really good for just doing you've got 3 or 4 windows open, and you can get pulled into a chat and like, well, what was I doing in my email about this? And you kind of just got this ability to mine all the relevant data. So it's one of the cool features of Pieces. As Amitesh says, it remembers work from last week or even months. So if you interact with it, it will remember it. If you don't interact with it, it will just not remember it. But next week I could ask, what was it Sean asked again? If I'm thinking, I should reach out to Sean with some information. What did Sean ask again? It should be answer this, which is very, very cool. I love it. So Sean asked another question. Does it have any influence on context retrieval in the VS Code Pieces plugin? Because that's what I'm hoping got a breakthrough in the Pieces suite. So I'm going to preface this with I'm new to Pieces. I've only been with the company for 2 weeks. I don't think yet you can turn it on the VS Code plugin. It is coming. It is coming very, very soon across absolutely everything. Because right now, if I do a new conversation here, let's say new conversation. When I set the context, I can add context to the conversation, add files, snippets, a message, a website. I can kind of add data in. I can't add the live context because if I do, let's try this out. Sean Tiz just ask. Yeah, it doesn't have the context, but it's all coming. It's all coming. We've got extensions for VS Code. We've got extensions for JetBrains, for Edge, all your browsers, Obsidian. So eventually this live context will be across everything. So it's very, very cool. It's very, very cool. So
nice.
Yeah. Okay. So we're doing yes, Amitesh says Sublime is also coming as well. Yes. If you use Sublime Text, there's an extension coming for that. all the things everywhere.
Even
This is why I
Vim?
want to work for. I think there was a start on an open source NeoVim extension.
Vim,
Yeah. Let me see if I can grab the. See if I can find an extension for that. Here we go. Oh, not much has really happened. There's one pull request open to update the README. Okay, so not seeing much on that one then. So, but if anyone wants to carry on working on that, then yes, we're trying to get some, because there's an API for Pieces. So Pieces is based around this thing called Pieces OS. So that's kind of like the brain of everything that runs with all the stuff. And then all the desktop and extensions all talk to Pieces OS. So there's an API for it. We've got open source SDKs. So if you want to build one to plug into whatever platform of choice, like NeoVim, you can. So we're hoping that, because we can't build one for everybody. There's just too many things people want. So that's why we want people to kind of build out these open source integrations into the platforms they want. And obviously we'll help and support along the way. So Sean is saying, I was thinking more the other way around, whether the plugin could be hooked up to live context. So Sean, do you mean I'm here inside VS Code and just accessing live context from in here rather than going to the desktop? Because if that's what you mean, then yes, that is coming. We don't mine data. It's not like the live context plugs into your email and reads all your emails. It only does what you're looking at. Because you can have a million emails. Finding the right bit of context may be confusing. So it's just what you are looking at the time is what's been focused on. Because we don't want to read all your emails. Yeah, that's just creepy. Cool. And Sean says, yeah, that was more or less it. Cool. Yeah. I will actually add. I'm going to drop a link to Pieces in the chat. It's currently free to use. Always going to be a free tier. So drop it in the chat. Check it out. Have a play. Give us your feedback. There's links on the Pieces.app to our Discord if you want to jump in the Discord as well and have a chat with us. But yeah, Pieces is free to use. So give it a go. Cool. So we were talking dialogue widgets.
Yep.
Should I create a new file for one of these?
No. We could do it in a single file. Yeah.
So do we do it? Would I do it? Is it small enough that I should do it in here?
Yeah, written dialogue. Yeah.
Yeah, return dialogue. Yeah. Okay, you know what? It's what does GitHub Copilot suggest? It suggested a min access size, a text field called title. I think that's basically it. I think it's just we've got children, because it was a column. Like you said, it's a column that's really stacked up like that. In the column is text field.
Yep.
Called title with an onSubmit button as the task in a set state function. And then navigator pops. I'm assuming that just pops the dialog away. And then a text button unpressed.
That's okay. For the cancel button.
Oh, cancel. Yeah, that just pops it without actually saving it. Okay. Yeah. So if I just reload that, there's my button there. This title is live stream. And there we go. It's added. Cool. Yeah. Doesn't look the best. I'm kind of need a bit of spacing around.
Yeah, we need padding. Yeah. So if we move a bit above, open the dialog box, please. In the UI.
Oh, the UI. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see and debug. So I think it needs padding around columns. So we could add a padding. We could wrap it in another widget. So command dot wrap with padding.
Wrap with padding. Okay, so padding is not a property of the widget. It's something it's a thing that wraps around it. Okay. So if I just save that.
Okay, so we need to rebuild it again. Cancel and just invoke it again.
Oh, okay. There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's better.
Cool. So be happy about my padding. There we go. Done. Check that one off. Nice. Nice. So actually then, if I go back to the top here and just take off those three. Now, even though I've taken off those three, when I reloaded
You
it,
need,
because
yeah,
the state is still there, isn't it? Because this is what's already in memory, so it's not blowing anything away. I'd have to completely restart the app to replace that. But all
you
the
need to
states
hot,
persisted.
you need to hot restart it.
Okay, so the hot restart is
This one, yeah.
because that's
This one's
saving
hot reload. This one's hot reload. The one, the green one is hot restart.
That's hot restart. Okay, so it's not doing a full restart. It's not the same as stop and then start. It's doing the hot restart. Right. Gotcha. That's cool. Get excited about hot restart. Put in there. And we can check that one as well. So done. So we've actually got a fully featured to-do list app.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't obviously remember any state between sessions, but it's fully featured. And if I go back here, if I just stop this and then go to my main.dart, there we go. I can just drop this and choose Mac OS and run it.
Let's hope it works.
Fingers crossed, because the last time that we had the same problem on Mac OS and iOS, which is because we were running from the desktop. This one.
Could you open it? Let's see what's the issue. Dependency analysis. Okay.
Because it could. Do I need to open this? Because I wonder if last time when we opened up the Mac OS, the iOS project in Xcode, it signed it correctly.
Oh no. Let's do one thing. Remove the Mac OS folder. Just blow it. Delete it.
Yeah.
Delete it. Yeah. And down below Mac OS, there's Mac OS Darwin written. Enable Mac OS for this project. Yes.
Okay, and that's going to recreate the stub, the Mac OS stub.
Yeah. And let's rerun it again.
There's there. Now Mac OS Darwin. Hit F5. There's probably something where it was on. Oh, nope. It still thinks it's in the desktop, but I moved it. You know what? Let's just reload the window. I'm not in desktop anymore. Okay, so I wonder if it was just. And then let's repeat that. Move to trash. Enable Mac OS. Yes. Try that again. Wait, I want to just whether it still got in its mind. It thinks things from the desk. No, same thing. Look, precompiled headers was created.
Okay. So let's do one more thing. In the terminal, type Flutter clean,
Flutter clean,
and Flutter pubget. Okay, never mind. We could do it next time. And Flutter pubget.
That's a pubget.
And let's run it again.
Okay, let's try that again. And while that's running, oh, Ellie's in the house. Hey, Ellie. Glad to have you here again. So Ellie was hanging out with me on the stream last week, and she was showing me all about the Pieces Obsidian plugin. So Obsidian, the kind of awesome note-taking app. There's a Pieces plugin for that that she was showing me. So yay, great to have you here. I'm going to drag this up to here. Because look at that. There's our Mac OS to do it. Woohoo! Good team. So I can do this. Get excited about task list on Mac OS. And then I am excited. Check that one off. That's really cool. So this is exactly the same code base. We've done nothing different. We just said run it on iOS, run it on Mac OS. And it's created a kind of different size thing. If I launch it on my iOS simulator, you know. Oh, this is an older one because I guess it hasn't pushed it to the device, but let's close that out there. But yeah, this is on Mac OS. It's exactly the same. One code base. And then I guess, so I go back to Explorer. Let's try Android.
Yep.
Let's try it. And yeah, because we've got a Windows one. I'm not on Windows, I'm on the Mac, so I need to run this on Windows. But where's my Android emulator?
You should be able to run for web as well.
But yeah, web should work. And then if I was on Linux, obviously Linux one would work.
I think you don't have Chrome, right? Chrome browser.
That's a good point. I don't think I don't have a Chrome browser. I've got Edge. I don't have Chrome.
You have Edge on Mac?
I have Edge on Mac, yeah.
Why?
I like Edge over Chrome. It feels a bit less creepy. There's a bit less people tracking me. I got used to using Edge because I used to work for Microsoft, so I got used to using Edge. And so I kind of just, I don't know, it feels a bit less creepy than Chrome in terms of tracking everything I do. I could be wrong. It could be just as creepy. But I mean, it's built on Chrome as well, so the internals are all Chrome.
I get it, but I know I'm not a fan of Chrome, but it's the first one I've seen you who's using Edge browser on Mac. I mean, you could use Safari, but Edge.
I mean, I use Safari as my default browser. Most of the time I use Edge usually when I'm demoing or doing dev stuff, because sometimes Safari blocks things or doesn't have stuff implemented. So Edge for dev work and Safari for everything else. So okay, so I ran this and it's not actually.
Nope. You need to run it. Yeah, you haven't.
It is.
You need to. It's running for what do you say, Mac. So you need to.
Oh, Mac. Yes. Sorry. Yeah.
Well,
when you add it, it doesn't automatically start it up.
You could add another one. You just need to press F5. You can't press F5. You need to press that button one.
Yeah. So that's running. Okay. Cool. So that's just now launching. So that should launch over here. Yeah. So Amethyst drops an interesting fact. Pieces is powered by Flutter. Yes. That's kind of what inspired me to learn Flutter. Is all the Pieces stuff is in Flutter. So you think about in the VS Code extension, it's a web view, Flutter, desktop app, Flutter, all of the things. Okay, there we go. Installing the stuff. Android SDK. Nice. So while it's doing that, I have a web endpoint here, but it doesn't give me an option to add.
Yeah.
Do I need Chrome? Is it only work with Chrome?
Works with the browsers. You need to do some magic. So you need to add options in the launch.json file.
Okay.
So you could ask Pieces to how to run Flutter web in Edge. That should be a best example.
Okay, so while that's still launching, let's actually ask that question. How can I run a Flutter app in Microsoft Edge? In fact, not to debug. Okay, Flutter app in Microsoft Edge. Okay, while it's spitting that code out, this is the app. My to-do list on Android. Woohoo! And Android. Cool. So Sean Tiz, as you were saying about it's much faster for multi-platform. What you've seen here is I've written it once and I've run it on all the platforms. It's basically the same, which is really, really cool. Yeah, Sean was asking, I was wondering about that with the interface update. So this is, with Flutter. Yep, all of our UIs are Flutter, which is very, very cool. So a lot of very good Flutter folks on the team. I'm not one of them. I'm here learning, which is why I'm very thankful to be here learning this from an expert. Cool. Okay, so that's Android. Let's stop this. And then, so enable web, which is, I guess is already done because I've got the web project. And then Flutter run -d edge.
That
That's
I don't think that would work, but let's see. Yeah.
no devices found yet. Checking for
Yeah.
wireless devices.
So you need to create a new launch.json file for that. So
here we go. Debugging in Visual Studio Code.
yeah.
This is the bit we need. Just this bit of configuration. We don't have one, do we? Very large JSON. There's the web. Okay, let's see if that's what I needed.
You need to learn. Yeah, this one, right? No.
So I need Go.
No. That's way different.
That's random.
Yeah, very random. Yeah. So you need to type that command again. Flutter run -d edge.
No devices found. Because I put that in my
okay.
VS.
On the run and debug tab, the one which you have opened recently. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, just launch this one. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
because if you see in line number 25 to 29, we have made a new configuration.
Yeah, that's what I added. But
so
it's not.
Could you
not running it?
Could you go to debug console?
Yeah, no supported devices. Matching edge. Okay. How do I add edge as a supported device in a Flutter app? Yeah. Nope.
Could you type Flutter Doctor again? Let's see what does it complain about.
I can't find Chrome. So
we don't want that.
Should I just, you know what? Let's just.
No, we don't need. We don't need it. We could do it. Trust me.
Okay.
Let's restart the VS Code. Then go to that debug. Yeah, just launch this one again.
Still no devices found yet. Okay, you know what?
Do you have Firefox?
I do not. I have Safari. I have Edge. This is use device ID Edge in configurations. That's what I did.
Yeah, that's
Configurations, device ID Edge. It feels like I'm doing all the things.
It seems like it can't detect your Edge browser. Let's see if it could detect Safari. If that works, then you shouldn't do that.
Because it's not listing Safari there, but if I go terminal and do run -d Safari, nope.
Nope.
Because there's a web project there.
Yes, Safari isn't supported for Flutter. Debug apps fine.
Yeah. There's no answer on that one. Yes, no, Flutter web apps can run on all the browsers. During development, Edge on Windows.
Okay.
So I have to use Chrome. I guess it makes sense. This is from Google.
You could use Brave. That also works.
Okay. That's all right. We'll get Chrome downloading. Very, very slowly. Wow.
Yeah. That's true.
Oh, there we go. That's more like it. Almost done. I guess it's the internet and this Airbnb I'm in. It's just throttling fast downloads, maybe. Almost done. But yeah, when that's done, we can install Chrome and give that.
Or maybe it's the Edge browser that's trying to purposefully making that slow download. You don't know.
I mean, wouldn't put it past them. You know, when you search for Chrome,
it says there's no need.
Yeah, you don't need to do this. It's not about whether I need to do it, what I want to do. Right. Oh, verifying Google Chrome. Add Google Chrome. And then, no, I never, ever, ever, ever want you to send me notifications under any circumstances, ever. I don't want to sign into Chrome. Yeah, whatever. Okay, cool. So Chrome's now installed. So if I run Flutter Doctor again,
Yeah, you see
Google. Sorry, we see Chrome develop for the web installed.
Yeah.
No, it's got a thing for background notification, because one of the things I love about Apple is they tell you when things are doing. Software from Google LLC added items that can run in the background. You can manage this in login item section. Why is a browser running things in the background? I'm just going to quickly turn that off, because that is not nice. I do not want you to run things in the background.
Some websites do want their service workers to be run in background. That's right.
Yeah, well, I just turn that off. Not going to have that. Cool. Okay, so now then I can drop this and I can choose Chrome Web.
Yeah.
And go back to main Dart and run this. And then we should get a nice get it running quite nicely. Okay, so I guess thinking about back to this answer, this is probably probably was the right answer if I was running Edge on Windows.
Windows, yeah.
Yeah, because it did say Edge works on Windows. So here you go. Here's my web app. Woohoo! To do delete Chrome when I'm done. Okay. And Sean says the only downside to Chrome is it will keep setting a login item in your kernel each time you run it. guess who's going to be deleting it so it doesn't do it anytime I run it? Yeah, that's terrible. That is absolutely terrible. So yeah, thanks for the tip there, Sean. I will be deleting this as soon as I'm done. Yeah, I kind of think we are done here. We've done in less than 2 hours.
Yeah.
We looked at Dart. You've introduced me to Dart, how it works. Introduced me to Flutter. We talked about how it works. Did the Hello World, and we've got a working to-do list. And it runs on iOS, macOS, Android, and the web. We've shown that. If I open this up in Windows, I have Windows. I have Linux as well. If I open it up in Linux, that's really, really cool. We've thrown this together in a couple of hours across platform. Pieces has been helping out where it can. Yeah, this is awesome. Just a quick Chrome. I've learned some new things here. I've got some great stuff for my return some great snippets. I'm going to just save this snippet here for the dialogue. Pieces, save to pieces. Got that snippet there. But yeah, we've seen some cool features of pieces. We've built something really cool. I think that's a nice place to wrap up this stream. So yeah, thank you so much for your time. This is really cool. Thank you for hanging out with me. Thank you for teaching me all these things. And everyone who's been watching this stream, thank you for joining. This was a lot of fun. Glad to have you all with us. Going to be streaming again same time next week. Twilio have announced a competition for people, the Twilio Challenge. So build something using Twilio and AI. So next week I'm going to try, because I mentioned about Pieces OS. So I've got the Pieces OS thing. There's a whole API for this. So I'm going to try and use the Pieces OS API and Twilio to do text messaging to ask the Copilot questions. I think it'll be a lot of fun. So I'm going to jump on that next week. So Ellie says, I missed the beginning, but you guys were great. Thank you so much, Ellie. I really appreciate you hanging out. Yes, really awesome. Yes, this Twilio challenge is awesome. So I'm looking forward to building out this this app next week, all with the help of Pieces, obviously, and we'll be showing off kind of the Pieces API. So yeah, Biswar, thank you for your time. This was so much fun. It's great the work you're doing for AppWrite as an AppWrite hero. And yeah, I just appreciate the time you took to help out. But otherwise, everyone who watched, thank you very much. Good to have you with us. And I'll see you all next week for more Pieces-based shenanigans. Bye, everyone.
Bye.